Well, thank you so much. It is amazing to see you all here. And we're here to say that austerity isn't working. It is dividing our country. It is punishing the poor. We're here to say that it wasn't people on job seekers allowance who brought down the banks. It wasn't nurses and teachers and firefighters who were recklessly gambling on international markets. And so we should stop the policies that are making them pay for a crisis that was none of their making. And we're here to remind the government as well that 76% of people did not vote for them. George Osborne, you have no mandate for these cuts, so stop your ideological war on welfare, end austerity now. But I want to pay tribute to the wonderful words that we heard from John and Liz earlier, speaking so eloquently about the impact of the cuts on people with disabilities. Because it is a scandal that this month the Independent Living Fund will be slashed, that we can't find money to be able to ensure that people with disabilities can live in the community. You know, funnily enough, we can find £6 billion to replace that building. Do you know what? I'm less worried about the building that's crumbling and more worried about democracy that is crumbling. Because these cuts are not only so socially damaging, they are absolutely illiterate as well. We don't need these cuts. The way out of the economic deficit is to be investing in jobs, and one of the best places to invest would be in the green economy. Instead of more fracking, we want investment in clean energy and energy efficiency. It will create hundreds of thousands of jobs. It would get fuel poverty down, and it would get our climate emissions down as well. I want to say one last thing, which is about the benefits cap. Because this government is going to be reducing that benefits cap even further, even though they have been told that it will lead to 40,000 more children in child poverty. It will lead to even more homelessness. That is an ideological choice by a government who cares nothing for cutting the deficit and everything for shrinking the state and punishing the poor. We have to keep working together. We have to keep protesting. We have to keep working in our communities. And those of us in that building who are on the progressive side of politics need to be working together more. Because it's only if other progressive politicians will defy their leaderships, vote down the kind of cuts that are going to reduce that deficit, then what we need to do is to work together, bring your voices into that building, open those doors, get your voices inside, and maybe just then we will win.
Well, thank you, Steve, and good afternoon, sisters and brothers, friends and comrades. What a fantastic demonstration this is. 250,000 people is the police estimate, would you believe? So God knows what the real numbers are. And I can tell you, comrades, that there are marches taking place all over our land. In Glasgow, there are tens of thousands of people marching. And I want to say a huge thank you to all of you who've come out here today in order to send a message to the political elite. And that message is a simple one. It is that if they think that they won the war of austerity on May the 7th, they better think again. If they thought on May the 8th that we were going to disappear, well, they better think again. Our fight goes on to protect our communities, to defend the vulnerable, to expose the spivs and speculators and the tax avoiders, to challenge the undemocratic nature of the establishment's self-styled lords and masters who masquerade as the guardians of democracy. We may have been disappointed on the 8th of May, but this is not the time for us to be downhearted or to be cowed. A majority in the House of Commons for the Tories, when 64% of the voters voted against them, will never legitimise the ravishing attacks on the disabled, the elderly, the sick, those in precarious work and those out of work. It will never legitimise the poverty and human suffering caused by the greed and gluttony of unaccountable vested interests. And I can tell you this, it will never legitimise the attacks on ordinary trade unionists, on democracy in the workplace, or on the right to strike. So let me warn this government once again, push us outside of the law and you will be responsible for the consequences, not us. Friends, let's be clear. The battle ahead is a defining one for all of us. The outcome will define not only our country, not only the lives we lead and that of our children, it will define the